Hello guys, it's Patrick. What's Melee Security 10? You can call me Any. Nice to meet you. This is my guide to farming. I'm going to show you the ins and outs, how to do everything and anything you want, and some secret tips that you may not even know about. So yeah, first we're going to get into the farming patches. If you don't want to learn about what the farming patches are and how to get to each one of these, you can click the annotation on screen and skip past it. So we start with the Arty allotment patch. It is the basic allotment setup. We have two allotment patches which you plant your potatoes, onions, cabbages, etc. in. Those are the L-shaped. We have the flower patch in the middle, and we also have the herb patch offset to the right. Now there's many different methods of getting here. I've highlighted four, the one you just can't see. The first one is the most basic, which I'm going to call the Arty teleport. You need a quest to do this. It's a red path that is 2 laws, 2 waters on normal spellbook. We have the lodestone. Once you have that activated, it's just a home teleport to Ardone. Then the green path is from the Ranger Guild using a combat bracelet, and the final is once you unlock the Arty Cape 4 from the elite after finishing the elite tasks, you can teleport straight to the farming patch. Here we have the cabbage patch. The quickest way to get here is Explorer's Ring, cabbage teleport. You need I believe it's the hard tasks done for the Lumbridge Draenor set. That is the green path. The yellow path is from the Draenor Lodestone. The blue path is from Falador teleport from the standard spellbook, which is 3 airs, 1 water, 1 law, that path. Then the red path is using the Clan Vexillium teleport, just one that I decided to throw in because I knew it was close. And once again, this is your standard allotment setup. This is the Catherby farming allotment patch. The red path is using the lodestones. Once again, the green is from the Camelot teleport standard spellbook, 1 law, 5 airs. The blue is from the lunar spellbook teleport to Catherby spell, which uses earths, astrals, and laws. This allotment patch is the odd one out. I feel like it's really secluded because the only 2 ways to get there are the red path, which is the ectophile teleport, and the blue path, which is a fairy ring code ALQ. If you can't use either of these 2 methods to get there, you might as well not use this patch because to get here would waste a lot of XP running. We now come to the last herb patch. This is only an herb patch, by the way. This is Trollheim. On the top left, you will see the Trollheim area. You teleport there with 2 fires, 2 laws, standard spellbook. You run down the path because it's faster to run down than jump the obstacle. You jump that obstacle on the bottom left, run down, jump another obstacle, go in the door. Then you end up in the second area, run south, open the door, up the ladder, and then you are at the farming patch. We now move on to wooden trees. This is the Falador wooden tree. It is in the park. There are 3 main ways to get there. One is the skills necklace to the mining guild, the red path. You're running north. The blue path is the standard spellbook Falador teleport, or the yellow path is the Falador lodestone. This is the Lumbridge wood tree patch. Plain and simple, you teleport to Lumbridge. This is the Varrock tree patch. There's 2 main ways to get there. It's basically a Varrock teleport, but I highlighted 2 settings of the Varrock teleport. You can teleport to the square, which is the red path, or the blue, which is the path when you teleport directly to the Grand Exchange. Either of these work. The red path is slightly faster, but it's more inconvenient for everything else in the game. Now we move on to Taverley, another really simple one. We have the Lodestone Network, which is the blue path. Again, this is a wood patch still. And the red path, which is the balloon transit system. You have to do a specific quest for that, and you will need to take off from one area, preferably Castle Wars, and land there. It takes a little bit, though. Now we move on to the last wood patch, which is at the Trainum Stronghold. This looks a little funny, but I tried to use both methods. The red path... Okay, first off, the wood patch is in the bottom left. The red path is from the balloon, which lands in the Trainum Stronghold, also with using that quest. The green path comes from the spirit tree. You can catch a spirit tree in many places, but one of the easiest is in mobilizing armies or at the Grand Exchange. And then now we start the fruit tree patches, which is the yellow path and the blue path coming from the yellow path from the spirit tree and the blue from the balloon. This is the Tree Gnome Village. I placed this after the previous because the green patch uses the Spirit Tree. You run from southwest from the Spirit Tree through the gate, follow Elkoi out. He will take you close to the patch, then you just another southwest walk to the patch. The blue path comes from the Ardon Monastery. You get a teleport there from your Ardy Cape. I believe it starts at class 2. Also, you have the Fairy Ring, which I believe the code is CIP. That is the red path, and then of course the Yanile Lodestone, which is the yellow path, which is the slowest out of all of them. Now we move on to the Catherby patch. The blue path uses the lodestone network from the Catherby lodestone, just run along that. Then the red path uses the gliders, which take off from various places in the game, but the easiest one to use to get to here with succession from the other patches would be the one from the top of the Grand Tree. This is the Brimhaven farming patch. To get here you need to teleport to Ardon, run south, pay the guy 30 coins. He will take you to the dock, highlighted in green, run south, and you can get to the patch. Another possible way is to charter a boat from any of the other ports in the game, such as Catherby. It costs more coins, it takes longer, they're more out of the way, so my green path is the preferred method. Now we're getting onto the obscure patches, such as the bush patches. The green path is using the Ardon cloak teleport to the monastery, like I talked about previously. The red path uses a spirit tree. It's slightly long and out of the way, so I'm not really sure about that one. I decided to list it anyways. The yellow path is from the fairy ring DJP. And the blue path is from the Ardon teleport. Just run south, 2 waters, 2 laws, and get there. Now we have the Champions Guild Bush patch. You can get here via the canoe system. Yeah, getting on the canoes. Riding that down with the blue path. You can use a combat bracelet to teleport to the Champions Guild. That's just a quick little runaround. Varrock Lodestone, red path. I was thinking of a Varrock teleport, but really the Lodestone's going to be the best way if you're going to teleport to Varrock anyways. This is the Etceteria bush patch. You can take the fairy ring via code CIP to get to this fairy ring and take the red path. You can use your ring of wealth and teleport to Miscellanea. That'll bring you to the yellow path. It'll be upstairs. You just run down the ladder. And then you can also take the boat from the boat from Relica, and take the blue path around and use that bush patch. Now we have the Remington bush patch. There's a few ways to get here. You can use the Port's Rim Lodestone, which you can see in the green path. If your house is in Remington, or you've done Love Story and can modify house tablets, you can use the yellow path, which is the shortest and quickest. You can use your Vexillium from your clan and use the blue path. You can also use the skills necklace and teleport to the crafting guild and take the red path. This is the mushroom patch in Canifis. The quickest way to get there is fairy rings using code CKS. You can also use Ancients teleports or like a portal in your house to teleport to Canifis and use the red path. Okay, quickly I'm going to go over some tools that I used in the video in the following. I call these tools, yeah. These are the magic watering can. Unlimited water supply from it. You get it from Fairy Tale Part 3. Magic secateurs give you a greater yield. The Scroll of Life gives you greater herbs from the patch. It's a dungeoneering reward. Juju farming potions, annotation there. It'll link to a better guide in the future of the video. Green Fingers is an aura. It gives you a greater chance of yield from crops. There are 4 tiers to it. At the highest it's 10%, at the lowest I believe it's 3 or 4. It's slightly useful if you really don't know where to put your loyalty points and are really dedicated to farming. Next is the Amulet of Nature. You can bind it to a patch and it will hum and let you know when those are ready. That's really easy to make if you get a friend or something to do it. If you can't do that, use an Amulet of Farming, which has charges, but humming doesn't cost a charge, only rubbing it to check it costs a charge. Quickly in here, the Falador Task Set Shield. I just wanted to mention that it gives you a boost in the XP when you have it over level 2, which is the medium. And finally, there are some familiars that help you with farming. First off, there is the Compost Mound, which has a scroll to let you create compost magically. It's a special move. Then finally, the Giant Ant, which gives you up to a 50% extra yield from fruit trees, bushes, and cacti. Now that I've explained all these patches, choose your level, click on the annotation, and we can begin this magical adventure together. This is now the section for low-level farmers, farmers level 1 to 60. I consider that to be low-level because at level 60 you unlock Livid Farm and yew trees, and your XP rates just get much greater very quickly. On each one of these bullet points there's an annotation, so you can go to the herbs/allotments section, you can go to the trees section, or you can go to the bushes section of this video. If not, it'll just play through all three. Okay, now we are going to talk about the allotments and the different ways to protect them. Allotments are always, except for in one case, paired with a flower patch, and I prefer to not use the flower patch for actual farming, but as a utility patch to help my XP rates get higher rather than get XP specifically from the flower patch, if that makes any sense. So, when the item on the right is planted in the flower patch in the same allotment area as the left seed is planted in an allotment, it is protected. So, when you have marigolds planted, your potatoes are protected and will not die. When you have onions planted, you need marigolds or else they will die. It's the same idea all the way down. The only cases that strawberries are quote-unquote not protected by anything, except for the case of white lilies. On my account, and as you will see in my herb run here in a few minutes, I have white lilies planted in all my flower patches. They are a reward from Falador Task Set 3, or Hard. These protect all allotment seeds at any point. Here we have our table of wooden trees. On the left you will see the tree type, on the right you will see the payment. To pay the farmer, all you need to do is right click pay. Any of these items can be noted, and you need one set of the payment per one seed. So if I'm going to plant 5 yews, I need 50 cactus spines. This is the same idea that's going to be used in the fruit trees, as being shown on screen right now. Yes, fruit trees are the same way. Here I'm going to be doing a herb/allotment run, using the newbier methods for teleporting and such, not the top pro tier stuff. If you want that, go to the higher level farming guide. Yes, I sped up the clip just so there's not a whole lot of waiting around. I originally commentated this, and so now I'm re-commentating over it, starting with the cabbage patch just because I did it, and I realize a fatal flaw right there. I just clicked it, and then I go, oh crap, I just drank my juju at the first plot. Usually what a person wants to do is start at the Trollheim patch, because that is the best way to excuse me, the best way to use your juju, because your juju potion will run out after a set amount of time. Luckily, actually, in this clip I am able to get through the entire run without the juju pot running off, including teleporting and running. So yes, I use super compost here. It's absolutely necessary, because whether or not you have the secateurs, the juju pots are nice. I only use them myself because I didn't want to lose money on my personal investment of the seeds and the patch. I know they're just fell stocks, but cash is cash, no matter how you look at it. Quickly, I teleport. Okay, to explain how I got to that last patch, I can't believe I forgot to do that. I used my combat bracelet, teleported to the Ranger Guild, ran south. Now I'm using a Camelot teleport to run over to the Catherby patch, running and picking these herbs. Juju pots increase the amount of herbs you get per patch, so does, as long as the thing is in effect, and it only works for herbs, no other type of thing. Now I'm going to use my ectophile, teleport to the ectofunctus, and run west to the patch over here. If you are doing an allotment run as a noob, you would use the same path and method to do it, just because there's really not a because there's really it's just the same 4 spots. There's no I'm not gonna re-record a second portion just to kind of confuse and whatnot. Remember, do not take that first jump. It wastes time. Run down the ramp, but you do need to take this second jump and the run down the ramp to the west and take the third jump. At this point, I'm really surprised that my Juju potions are still running, because usually they break at this point, or well, not break, they usually run out after a certain amount of time, and I thought I had surpassed it. But anyways, I keep running, go south, open the door, then go up the ladder. Here we go. I'm gonna note my herbs, or I should note my herbs, on the way up to the patch. That's an epic lag. It's about to wear off. So here we go, picking, and that's just essentially how you do a run. As I said before, to do the allotments, you basically go the same path, ignore the Trollheim at the end, obviously, because there's no allotment here. Thank you. This is my bush run. It's going to apply for both noobs and high levels, just because they are all direct teleports, and there's really not much of a better way to do it. There's only one slight shortcut. Starting with the teleport to the Champions Guild. This clip is sped up, by the way, just to, once again, to not waste time. So here, I only had one planted. Also, that's a mistake. When clicking, when clearing poison ivy or any bush, you want to spam click to pick them as fast as possible. And once that's done, you want to right-click clear the bush. I decided to use the skills necklace to go to the Remington patch because my house is not in Remington, and it just seemed like the best way to go at the time. Really, any of these ways work if you don't have your house there. They're all quite long, and they're just the way to do it. There's no need to pay for bushes, just because the XP spent on the actual things themselves, the seeds themselves, is not worth protecting, bottom line. Now I used my Ring of Wealth to get to Etceteria. Now we're running across the island. Not really a whole lot to talk about here. Let's see. Once again, just kind of doing this. You could use Super Compost, I believe, and get maybe a slightly higher produce rate, which I forgot to do in this video, obviously. And for high levels, you can obviously use fertilized soil. So yeah, just getting to all these patches. The next one is going to be the Ardougne patch. This is the one patch you can kind of cheat, I'd say. Well, not cheat. This is the one patch that higher levels would have a better opportunity at, to speed up a little bit. They can run and use their Arty Cloak 2, at least 2, at most 4, to teleport to the monastery instantly and get to this place faster. If not, as I said before, you can use fairy rings, or you can just teleport to Ardougne Rouge, Arty, whichever you'd like to call it. Plant the seed. You're done with your run. So here is a wood tree farming run for all levels. It's essentially the same principle and idea when doing it for all levels. So here we go. We start in Lumbridge. As long as you start anywhere that is not the Gnome Village, you're good. I like to avoid starting in the Gnome Village because in case you have a double tree run set up, you need to end there so you can go to the next one kind of quickly. You right-click Pay the Farmer, use the thing on the patch, and then right-click Pay again. So now I go to Varrock. I've heard that Super Compost helps it grow. I don't know if it's superstitious or what, but I just do it. I used maples in this video just to show a healthy medium between high and low. You have the ability to cut down the trees. You could prune the branches. You get the roots, all those kinds of things. But that is kind of an annoying thing to do. It wastes a lot of time, it wastes a lot of XP, and it can disrupt the disrupt how your farming timers are set up. This is the one thing that is the two patches that are linked that I completely forgot to mention at the beginning of this. You have the Varrock and the Gnome patch. They're easiest to access one after the other because you can use, as you just saw, you can use the Spirit Tree. But yes, just doing this. Next spot is Falador. Falador Telly, run to the park. Gonna run through all this. Pay. Really not a whole lot going on here except running through here. Using numbers to make this stuff go faster. Holding on the number 1 will make it work. I made the mistake of, yeah, I didn't have the lodestone unlocked, so I just paused the video and skipped forward till I got to the lodestone at Taverley. Just kind of simulates the skip in time that I would have saved. There's the balloon transport, so you can see how much closer and faster it is almost to some extent. And after they fixed this place, I almost didn't even realize that that's where the tree patch was. And there we go. That is the end of the tree run. This is going to be my fruit tree run, starting in the Tree Gnome Village, which is the maze. You're going to teleport there using spirit trees or the Nile lodestone, or all the options that I provided in the beginning. You're going to squeeze through the railing, follow Elkoi out. He will take you here. The one thing that is slightly annoying about fruit trees is that you have to pick the fruit, and I forgot. It had been a while since I farmed, so you can see I start to remember how to do it faster. The fastest method is to spam click. As you can see, once again, I'm slightly confused. You have to chop down these trees, you have to uproot them, but since it's one log, it's pretty fast. Once again, using numbers to go through the chat options faster, holding down the 1 key. Now I gotta run back through the maze so I can use the spirit tree to go to this Tree Gnome stronghold rather than the village. In the stronghold there is a fruit tree right next to the spirit tree. Yeah, when dealing with these, as I said earlier in farming tools, you can use the giant ant to increase your yield from these. It just kind of helps. Fruit trees are always some really good XP. The only problem is it takes 14 hours to grow, so it's just kind of a given. I forgot to use super compost once again. I don't know if it's a superstition or what, but it's just a good way to do these things. I don't know. It's always a precaution. And what's 1K? I mean, some people might complain, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Then I'm going to run north. I'm going to use the glider to get to Catherby faster. If I was on Lunar Magics, like some, if not most, pro farmers are, you can teleport there. But, you know, whatever works. These gliders are fun. Gosh, I love them so much. Glider there, go to the mountain, then you're gonna run south. You could also use the Catherby lodestone. After getting here, I realized if I had home tellied to the Catherby lodestone, it would have probably been faster than using the gliders, so just be aware of that situation. I believe this is where I pick up on how I used to farm and get back to the fast clicking and all that kind of stuff. So you're gonna check the health, spam click. You pick them, see how much faster you pick them, it's stupid. And then make sure you don't keep spam clicking, because if you continuously spam click, you'll keep canceling your own animation for farming, or for the wood cutting the tree afterwards. Pay the farmer, make sure you do that. If not, it's always worth it, a trip back. Now these last two patches are going to be, or well, two of these last patches are going to be ones that I did not talk to you about in maps. This one is the elf crystal, or the one in the elf area. You use a tiny elf crystal to teleport here, which you get from Morning's End Part 1. There's really nothing to show on a map, or else I would have talked about it. So you go here, teleport, do your thing. And the only problem with this place is that these two guys look somewhat similar to me. The only difference is one's in green robes. Now we go to the Juju spot. Gotta love that Juju. This is mainly used actually for this is herblore habitat. Using this is mainly done to attract different types of Jadinkos, but when you're not hunting here, you can use it for whatever you'd like. And we are on to the last patch in Brimhaven. Yes, the last patch in Brimhaven, teleporting to Ardone, running south, getting Captain Barnaby. I almost get the click off the boat, so you can set that up if you're always facing straight north. And this is basically the end of the farming run. That's how I like to do mine, and that just shows you how long it's been since I farmed. The fact that I got task from that. This is the high level farming section. Choose the annotation below for the pro way to do herbs and allotments, or the way that you should do wood trees or fruit trees. So here we go. We are doing an herb run here. I sped it up because it just takes a while. I did an herb/allotment run, so it was a quickie. Well, it was not a quickie. It was a long one. I did 2x speed just because I thought high level high level farmers should be able to figure this out pretty fast. I did the same thing, 5 times basically. So here we go. We are running to Trollheim. We were running there before, even dosing up on our Juju to save, save that precious, precious Juju. The one thing that I didn't do in this section, I will admit right now, is to do a run that I also went to the Herblore habitat and harvested both herb patches. That was a mistake of mine, just straight up, just not thinking all the way through on what I should be doing. Just not maximizing my XP for this video, which is what I really meant to do. Okay, so here we go. Right-clicking the Mystic Mudstaff sets up the click. If you right-click it, hit F4, it should set up your next click for you. Yeah, don't forget, always noting, always using those secateurs. And here we go. Using the spell Fertilize Soil to fertilize the soil, like I'll say it that way. Dead herbs, I actually think I end up with dead herbs twice on this run. Dead herbs happen, just, the best way to say it is just, suck it up and work on the next one, because, there's nothing you can do about it, and there's really nothing you should have done about it, because it's a waste of experience and time to run over there and save it from disease, and know that it's diseased, and just all those things just waste time. So yeah, here's the ecto patch, just really quickly using these methods. Artie Cloak 4 teleports to Ardone Farm. In case you didn't catch what I did for Camelot, I used the teleport to Camelot spell. Because I finished this run so quickly, I went straight to my allotments. I did make the mistake of not using super compost on these when I planted them, so I won't get as many watermelons as one normally would, but you get quite a bit of XP from this, which is nice. So yeah, and see how easy it is right there to not switch to your secateurs when going to a second patch. That's always a very important thing that you should remember to do. So yeah, queuing up that spell there, noting and continuing on the pattern. As you can see, the run was very fast. I already did my watermelons in one patch before the Juju wore off and all that stuff. So yeah, there we go. Fertilize. There's really not a lot to talk about here. I don't know. It's just running the same pattern again, but just with more things to do in the same area, getting there the same way, all that kind of stuff. Here we go. Queuing up the spell. Pop, pop. Cabbage port. Another thing that I mentioned, but I'll say it again. In the middle of all my patches, at my flower/utility patch, you will see white lilies. And you might be like, wow, those look fancy. How'd you get those? Are you just wearing them for show? What is this? White lilies protect every single allotment you could possibly put in there. They're a reward from the Falador hard task. Another thing I should have done here is worn my Fally shield. It does give a boost to experience, as I said in the farming tools section of this video. Make sure you always pay attention to your inventory and when to note. It's always hard when you're getting ready with the spell, but sometimes you gotta do what you want. Or you gotta do what you do. That's another thing that's nice about fertilized soil. If you accidentally plant the seed before you fertilize with super compost, you can do it afterwards and it doesn't matter. So yeah, just running through, getting my final patch, the ecto patch. Well, actually, the final full patch. But then there's the hidden patch, which I had no idea about until I made this video. It blew my mind that this patch existed. I was researching farming and getting everything ready for this video and all that kind of stuff. I think my mouse got frozen on the recorder in the middle of the screen. As you can see, it's just kind of flickering there. But obviously, you can tell where it actually is highlighting items. I hope this isn't a huge problem for you guys. So yeah, the last one is on no, it's not on Brain Death. Brain Death is how you get there. You need to go to Harmony Island, which is best found by going to Ecto, running south into the city, then running all the way out to the end, the farthest east dock, getting on the boat, crossing that gangplank, and traveling via Bill Teach. Then you're going to, once you arrive on the island, you need to get off, go and travel using Brother Tranquility. He will put you in a building, south open door, north, and there. And this will show you the consequences of having no lilies. Your crab dies, but at this patch specifically, there is no helper farmer guy, so this is basically what you end up with sometimes. Oh my god, it is time for my favorite part of the video, the Extreme Farmers Edition. Okay, so this is for the people that are like, normal farming, normal runs is not enough farming XP for me. I need more, and I'm here to help you with that more. We're going to do that through Herblore Habitat. I'm just going to explain that in this section because I feel like it is for the highest level of farmers to get those juju pots going and really use that to your advantage. Also to use Livid Farm and get that up, and then also to utilize spirits and calquats. I understand that calquats can be used by lower levels, but I thought as a serious XP boost it should be put in here. Just quickly to explain how to get to the Calquat patch, we have the Taiboy Wanai teleport scrolls, which are found in clues. You can use a modified teleport tab to the Brimhaven house portal, or you can use the dock from Ardy. Okay, this is the Brimhaven Spirit Tree patch. The best way to get there is Ardy Telly and take the boat, or teleport to the Spirit Tree there if you already have one planted there and dig it up and replant. The benefits of this patch is that it gives you a really fast teleport to get to that fruit tree patch on the left side of your screen, and it also gives you a nice access to Shiloh if you teleport it and use the transportation symbol is Haggerty, which will take you in a cart south to Shiloh. This is now the Port Sarim Spirit Tree. The best ways to get there are from the Cabbage Port or the Port Sarim Lodestone. The benefit to this one before Lodestones is probably that it was closer to Frosts, but still at the same time, it's really hard to say one way or another what really is. I mean, if you're really going to Entrana, I guess that could help you a little bit. But besides that, there's not a ton of uses for this patch. Now we are at the Etceteria Spirit Tree. It's on the right side as you see the rainbow pointing towards. You can get there using the Ring of Wealth. You can get there using Fairy Rings. You can get there using the boat from Relica, as I described earlier in the video. Now this Spirit Tree can be used, to get to your kingdom faster. Not necessarily to manage your kingdom, but to collect. I personally like teak, so this would be really advantageous for me. There's lots of ways that this could be used. I would definitely choose to use this as a spot over your Brimhaven spot, and also something I did not mention before is that you can have up to 2 spirit trees planted after Prisoner of Glorfree, after Prisoner of Glowfree. So if possible, you can plant one at Brimhaven and Etceteria, and those would be way more useful than one at Port Sarim. Okay, here we are at the Herblore habitat to quickly go through and explain how you can use this area to your advantage. What you're gonna need. Okay, I'm going to explain how to get Juju farming potions because they are basically what's gonna help you get more XP. Actually, more cash. I'm sorry, more cash from your runs. Now, you have this extra tree patch which I'm using for the papaya, as you guys saw earlier in the video when I was planting that. Now, to make juju farming potions, you need Ugune herbs and you need marble vines. For the marble vines, you need to hunt igneous Jadinkos, and the way this place works is you have to set up these plants and this middle construction area in a certain pattern to get the igneous Jadinkos, quote unquote, attracted, or whatever you want to call it, to show up. So the other thing you will need to get Agunes is the actual herb seed, which I'm out of because I farmed all mine. But you just catch common Jadinkos or draconic Jadinkos, I've heard, to get them are the best methods. So you go do that, you plant them in this vine herb patch, or there's another one. If you hop this southern border and climb up this vine over the river, the second patch is all the way right there. So yes. So you're gonna need to set up a blue vine a lurgberry bush, and an orange tree, and a thermal vent to attract these igneous Jinkos. Every time you catch it, you get a marble vine. That is the secondary for the potion, the Juju farming potions. You'll see them. They're all over the southern area. You can hunt them basically anywhere. This area is for common Jadinkos, which is what you want to start with when you first go here to get seeds to begin your runs. Yep. Quickly, this is a short little tutorial on how to get some good extra farming XP. This is what will really put you above the other people that are just doing their little runs every once in a while. So if you seriously wanted to maximize your XP per day, you would do Livid Farm. You use the Cure Plant and the Fertilized Soil spells, which give you farming experience, but I think it's boosted in here because I don't remember you getting that much outside. But oh, it could be totally wrong. There are many activities in here. You fix the fence using plank make on the little wooden things, fence posts that you get. You imbue energy to her. You use the string jewelry spell to like package flowers. I'm not entirely sure how they figured that one, but not gonna complain. So yeah, this just will give you some nice free, well, not free, it'll cost a little bit in runes. Mudstaff is very, very important for this. But yeah, it'll give you some nice little bits of XP, and you get some decent construction and agility. It's not great. Two spells that are unlocked here that are very important are remote farming, which can let you view your patches from a distance. You can sit there, you can click on the spell and scroll through every patch in the game and look and see what yours are doing. If they're diseased, if they're growing fine, if they're finished, all that kind of stuff. You can also unlock the almighty, all-holy Trollheim teleport. I'll show you here really quickly. There it is, 744. You get about 18k produce an hour. So it takes a very long time to get to that teleport Trollheim, but it is so worth it in the long run. You also have your remote farming. The round resets. Jagex pretty much limits you to how much you can get. There's ways to do it quicker. I'm just doing this simple basic way to not confuse people if anybody's interested. When you're doing like the cure spell, you can spam click like to fertilize, and it'll like animation cancel and save you ticks. That's about everything in here. Yeah. Okay, so here quickly I have this farming XP per run calculator. I did my own calculations through tons of seeds. I found out that these average numbers, 18.7 watermelons per patch and 9.5 fell stalks, which are the highest XP, and that's why they're on here per patch. It works for any allotment, any herb, with jujus for the herbs, and don't forget the secateurs and the secateurs for the watermelons. Now we have, as you can see at the bottom, all these plus 18s are due to the fertile soil casting. You get 54.5 XP per watermelon you pick, 18.7 per patch, plus the casting XP for fertile soil, plus the planting XP that you get base. You're gonna get a little over 1,000 per patch. 9 patches a trip. That's if you do all 4 sets of allotments and the single on Harmony Island. That's almost 10k per trip from watermelons alone. Then from fellstalks, you get 9.5 per patch. Now here's where the math gets a little screwy. You have a 33% chance of grabbing a second herb when you're down there, you know, with jujus, and that's why they're so good. So you get 4 herbs, but you only get the XP for 3 herbs. So then I recalculated, saying that, you know, the XP per fellstalk, so 4 times X, 4 times fellstalks is equal to this XP. I got that new XP per fellstalk when using jujus, then went back and calculated number of patch times number XP per fellstalk, plus the fertile soil, plus the planting gives me that. 5 patches a trip, add it all together. Then if you are super hardcore like I was talking about, and you go and do livid farm, that is another about every 50 minutes you get about 27, a little over 27k XP. So you're looking at 50k XP an hour, solid every hour, not including those big XP drops when you do the huge tree runs with the magics and the palms and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, think about it, you know, you spend 10 hours doing this, you know, you're getting 500k XP a day ahead of the other guy doing farming. So at this point of the video, you may be thinking, well, okay, you've shown me all these farming basics. You showed me high level farming, medium level farming, extreme farming, all these different patches, but what does your guide tell me that other guides don't? What does this guide do for me that, like, I can't find on my own, that nobody knows about? What is so special about this? Okay, here quickly, I'm going to use this to explain. I started this timer right here immediately when I logged in to World 48 here. Now I'm going to stand here. It is right now 11:49, personally my time. So this farming patch should flip into a grow state in a few seconds here, as soon as it hits 11:50, which it just did. Now I'm going to pause the video, and when I come back, I'll come back right before 5 minutes, and it should grow at exactly 5 minutes. This proves the grow states idea. One moment. Now, in this clip so far, you've seen me talking about this 5 minutes. I had almost exactly 5 minutes. This will tick in, boom, pick turnip. This shows about these macro ticks in the game. The fact that it grew for exactly 5 minutes, there has to be significance to this. Now, to get into this grader, let me show you this graph. The almighty graph. This graph on the x-axis or the horizontal axis has minutes. On the vertical axis it has minutes, but they're specific. There's a reason behind the 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, and 320. As you can see, they all double. Now, as you saw in that last clip at exactly 5 minutes, my crops grew. So, you know, this kind of got me thinking, kind of got me adventuring deep into a lot of stuff. And I came across some information that I thought made farming make so much sense to me. Every 5 minutes GMT, there is a tick in the farming mechanism of the game. With this farming mechanism, every 5 minutes there are certain constants, like every 5 minutes weeds will grow in a patch, and every 5 minutes your seedlings will turn to saplings in your inventory or in your bank. Now, knowing that we have these seeds and saplings in 5 minutes, you know, you look farther into it and you think, okay, what is it? Well, in these cycles, what does this have to do with things like flowers and allotments and hops, herbs, all these kinds of things? Okay, so you look and you say, well, everything has a certain amount of stages. If you look, you know, every time you go look at your herbs, there's like, you know, there's 4 different pictures that your herbs can show over their growth span, like the little tiny bud into the small medium one, the medium large one, and the fully grown one. And that's just how it works. Same with like flowers and things like that. Depending on the type of allotment, depending on the type of trees, all that kind of stuff. They each have their individual amount of stages of growth. Now, each of these stages of growth cycle at different amounts of times and tick, but they all are based on this simple unit of 5 minutes. The basic 5 minutes that I just said a minute ago controlled the weeds and the trees and those types of things. Now we are going to start at the very beginning, the most simple portion of this, the thing you must understand. As you saw in that previous video, exactly after 5 minutes, my things grew. This actually holds true for everything. Everything that you plant, all that kind of stuff, will update on some multiple of 5 since you logged in to plant it. So, if I log in at 12:52 and plant a flower immediately, such as nasturtiums or marigolds, they will grow at 12:57. And you can say, well, yeah, that's 5 minutes exactly. Well, you have to also look into the standard from Jagex. When the cycle is more than 5 minutes, you have to begin to think of what is perfect Jagex time. Such as when you get into things that are not even multiples of 60, so they're not the same on every hour, like wood trees. Wood trees as a whole, every single wood tree patch in the game will tick forward every 40 minutes after midnight or noon, whatever you want to call it, 12 o'clock or 2400 GMT. Herbs tick every 20 minutes, allotments tick 10, flowers tick 5, fruit trees are 160, spirit trees are 320. This is why this chart is this way. It'll show you, this chart shows you every time a green box occurs, it is a tick growing forward for this type of thing. So now, let's give a better example. Herbs, there's 4 growth cycles, and they take 20 minutes each. So, you plant an herb. Let's say, okay, midnight GMT, you plant an herb at 12:01. You logged in at 12:56. We're going to make this super simple. Log in at 12:56. You plant it. No, you log at 12:57 because you want the 5 minutes. 12:57. You plant it at 12:01. At 12:02. No. Then it takes 20 minutes to tick forward. So then at 12:22, which is after you planted it and one entire tick cycle has increased, that is the exact moment your herb will grow. Now, you may be wondering, how does this help me? How does this benefit me? Well, think about it. If you know exactly when your herbs are going to grow and when your watermelons are going to grow, how much can this help you time yourself better and prioritize what you're going to plant based on XP, based on timings and when they are going to be ready, when they should be ready, and when Jagex's timers will allow them to be ready. Now, back to that herb analogy I used before, planting at 12:57, or logging in at 12:57, planting at 12:02. That herb will be done at 1:22 in the morning. Had you logged in at 12:58, it would be done at 1:23. Had you logged in at 11:59, it would be ready at 1:24. If you logged in at midnight, any seconds after midnight, you would run into a problem. You would plant it, and your 5-minute tick timer would go up, but it would not be on one of these green zones for Jagex. So your herb would not grow forward, meaning you would have to wait for the next 20-minute cycle, in which it would tick at 12:20 plus the seconds after you logged in at midnight. So what I'm saying is then your herb will take 100 minutes to grow. With this knowledge, you can plant your herbs perfectly with meanwhile syncing up your log times. You're going to want to log into the game. I don't know from the lobby. I don't know whether it matters if it's from the lobby or from outside there. You want to log in at 12 or at 11:59 and 30 seconds or 45 seconds just to be safe in case something goes wrong. Now, with this planted, okay, that's if you're only planting one single herb. If you want to do an entire herb run, you gotta log in 3 minutes earlier than 11:59 and 30 seconds. All of this in total can work together to end up maximizing the amount of herbs you can get per day. The only problem is they are 5-minute growing windows. As you can see, these little green boxes, each green box is in width 5 minutes. So the most efficient farmer in the game would be able to plant every single crop he needs in that 5-minute window, which is logically impossible and physically impossible. Now you have to think, well, if I can't plant everything I have in the game in those 5 minutes, what am I going to prioritize? Am I going to prioritize my herbs because they make me money? Or am I going to do, my spirit tree? Or am I going to do my fruit trees? You need to think about the frequency, how long it takes for each one of these to tick. So, and you also, money is an important thing. If it's not an important thing, then solely go based off the frequency. You're going to want to work from the highest level up. You're going to want down. You're going to want to work from. You're going to want to plant your spirit trees, then run and plant your fruit trees, then run and plant your wood trees, then your bushes, then herbs, then allotments. And if you do that, you will maximize your time. You will maximize your XP. If you are working with the highest level, all that kind of stuff. It gets a little screwy in the middle if you're using fell stalks, but you're using acorns for trees or something stupid like that. The best way to log in and most efficient way would be to log in at 11:54 and 50 seconds, however many seconds, because you can plant all that time up until 11:59. The game at 11:59 and 50 something seconds, the game will try to make it tick forward, but it is not in one of these green zones yet. And I'm assuming that I'm just making sure you guys understand that at time 0, that is midnight, that is 12 o'clock. Everything is growing at that moment. In those 5 minutes, once your cycle ticks, everything that is planted in that moment will grow forward as long as disease isn't there and that kind of stuff. And I understand this is really confusing, and it took me a long time to figure out how this game tick works, but if you look at my short thing about the turnips, which grow every 5 minutes, hopefully you'll be able to understand how that relates upwards, successively to all the other types of seeds. So you may be wondering why I made this video, why I, even did this. I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I finally decided to join the YouTube community, and I finally decided to put my knowledge out there and share what I know. And not only is it that, my friend joined me my friend joined the community with me. His name is Moser, and I've done a lot of videos with him. He has his own channel. I watch all his videos. We're really good friends. We've known each other for so long. In fact, This is Moser and I 10 years ago. Now, I don't know about you, but a friendship that's lasted 10 years is a good one in my book. And not only to say is 10 years, gone by and we still know each other and we're still great friends. Uh, we still play on a daily basis. We still talk to each other. The game is our connection, and you know what? I mean, there's nothing I'd rather do than come home at night from school for a busy day and just sit down, relax, and enjoy the game. So now it comes down to why I want the Ellie, and I want the Ellie because if I win this competition, I know that my video was good enough to beat everybody else's. I know that I'm competent in making guides, and that Ellie will be used to make more guides, make more content, make better videos, buy supplies, do whatever I need to continue making great videos and helping the community grow and learn the game. And not only that, I have an arcane right now, an arcane spirit shield, and if I win this Ellie, my arcane is going to this guy here on video right now, Moser, because you know what, our friendship has been too long. He's helped me through so much shit. He's told me his XPs, he's told me all these great secrets, and you know what, he really deserves money, and I just want to be able to give it to him. So, what do I say now? Besides, I can't believe you actually made it to the end of this video. I wasn't even sure that I'd be able to make a video this long and actually have decent content in it, which I feel is decent content in this video right now. Thank you so much for watching. Please share it with a friend. Even if they don't watch the whole thing, click through the annotations. They're there for a reason. This video isn't necessarily meant to be watched through the entire way, front to back. I mean, it's great if you do that. I'm sure you pick up a lot of knowledge for the entirety of farming if you do that. But it's really meant to be pinpointed to where you are and help you in the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Is his head really supposed to be turned that way?